Make it?
Yeah.
Make what?
Make it die wobbly.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Colin, this is my $300 Miata behind me, and today I'm going to be tackling the project of repainting the front bumper. It's been replaced in the past, so it's the wrong color, and then it was also backed into again, and all the clear coat that was put on it peeled off. I've never repainted a full panel before. I've done some little touch-up jobs, and I've been kind of apprehensive about this because I'm not a painter, and I know it's not going to turn out perfectly, which bugs me up front, which is why I've been holding off doing it. But today, I'm just gonna get down, get dirty, do it, and do the best I can. These are the paint supplies I went out and bought. I decided on GM's Victory Red from Duplicolor because I actually found that it matches the red of the car quite well, and it's quite a bit better match than the red of the bumper, as you can see there. So I know it's not gonna be perfect, but that will look a lot better. After removing all the lights and taping everything off, my next step is sanding. I'm gonna try to get as much of that paint off as I can and get it down to the bare plastic. We'll see how that goes, but I'm gonna start with 220 grit sandpaper and kind of assess it and see where I need to go from there. It's another day, as you could probably tell. I'm wearing a different shirt because I sweat through the other one. I just got so tired that one day. Sanding is a lot more work than I had realized. I ended up going from, I think I told you I was doing 220. I ended up going down to 120 grit because the 220 just wasn't cutting it, literally. So I went down to 120, did the whole pass. I went up to 220, and behind me right here, this is obviously not the bare plastic of the bumper, but I think I'm happy with this because I know there's transitions there between the paint and where the clear coat was, but I can't feel them. So that's roughed up. All the clear coat's gone. All the base coat is sanded down appropriately. I'm gonna do one more pass with 320 because that seems to be the standard where everybody finishes before they start doing primer. And there is actually one more thing I need to do before that. There's a spot right here where it looks like somebody may have backed into it, or I don't know, something hit it right there. There's a ridge that catches my fingernail, and it's a bit more than I'm gonna try to sand down to. So I bought some spot putty, and I'm gonna put that in there, get it sanded down, and then wipe it off and primer it. I'm done sanding. I've done everything in 320 grit. I sanded down that spot where the nick had been put in the bumper, and it actually looks pretty good. So I've wiped it down. There's no more dust on the bumper. I'm on to primer. Let's do it. How about that? That looks pretty good for a rattle can job. It's really even, there's no streaking. I'm happy with that. And so now comes the exciting part. It's once again another day, and yesterday did not go as well as I had hoped. Basically what happened was I did all my research to try to figure out how I should spray the bumper and what tips and tricks to use, how to make it turn out as well as it possibly can. And the one thing that I didn't factor in was the environment I was supposed to be painting in. And evidently high humidity is not good for spray paint, which just happens to be what I got yesterday because it was pouring rain outside. I had the garage open for ventilation, and my clear coat was just like milky, and it was starting to turn white over time as I layered it on, and it just looked awful. And I totally expected to walk into this garage this morning and make you guys a video titled how I messed up and why my bumper turned out like crap. But instead, I walked in the garage this morning and I found this. No milkiness whatsoever. It's not shiny, of course, which is still, I think, a problem that the humidity caused, but it is a really nice, even red. And even better, if you take the little swatch I had here, it is the right color. So I hadn't intended on having to do this, but I think what I have to do now is sand that back and polish it. Just do a little bit of light wet sanding and polish it down so it's actually reflective and not a matte finish like it is now. And then hopefully it becomes glossy again. But I'm getting close to the end. I think it's gonna look good. Today is yet another day. As you can see behind me, the bumper is very glossy. It looks really nice. I haven't had a chance to wet sand it yet, but what actually happened was when I wet sanded the clear coat that was on there, it didn't get glossy. There was no making it look good. So I ended up spending a little bit more, waiting a little longer, and getting some proper 2K clear coat with hardener in it, and much better results this time. I waited until there wasn't high humidity in the air, and it looks really good. So at this point, I would wet sand it to get the orange peel out of it so that I could take it out on the road and be finished, but I'm just too excited. So today's my girlfriend's birthday. I'm going to unwrap the car, see how well the paint matches, and I'm gonna go to her work and visit her. And I'm gonna unwrap it. Oh yes! Oh my gosh, it's a pretty good match. Yeah! DIY, baby! So upon further inspection, the color match is not as close as I had hoped it would be, but at least the front end doesn't have any cracks in it anymore. And I still haven't cleaned it up or sanded it, so it's gonna have a few imperfections in the finish, but I think it looks decent for having done it at home. And here's the end result. I've got the bumper painted. I got it wet sanded. It's totally smooth. And the color match out here is actually much better than it was in the garage. I also sanded this turn signal down because it was kind of hazy before, so it's a bit glossier. I'm really happy with how this turned out. And there it is, that's all I've got. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.